Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and we were hit with an absolute bombshell last night. I was in a bar watching the Miami-Florida game, and the news went across the bottom of the screen, and literally I thought, okay, am I drunk or something? Am I reading this correctly? There is no way what I'm reading on my television screen, there's no way it is correct. There is no way that Andrew Luck has retired from the NFL. I hopped on Twitter and it was indeed true. Andrew Luck has retired from the NFL at the age of 29 years old, going on 30. This is the former number one draft pick from the 2012 NFL draft, a generational talent out of Stanford University, and he has decided to hang up his NFL career. So we're going to talk about this today, and we're going to start by talking about Andrew Luck and talking about the Colts, and then I know there's a bunch of Titans fans that want to know how this relates to the Tennessee Titans, and we have a lot of Titans fans on this channel, so we're definitely going to discuss that at the end, but we have to start by talking about the Colts and what they should do moving forward. So Andrew Luck personally, let's start with him in this decision. Now, he is entitled to retire whenever he wants to, just like any of us, okay? Whenever we feel as if, we're being too worn down mentally, physically, and whatever occupation that we do, we have the right to step away at any given time. Now, I'm not sure if I think this is actually an interesting point no one's actually made. The NFL is a different story, don't get me wrong, but this was not a 2-week notice. Okay, like this was literally, I'm out. So I do wish that Andrew Luck would have provided the Colts with more of a heads up, and maybe he did. Maybe he's been having internal conversations, with Jim Irsay, with the general manager Chris Ballard, saying, guys, I'm thinking about hanging up, and maybe he told them 2 weeks ago I'm going to hang it up, and then they just waited until now. But as far as I know, he told Jim Irsay and company yesterday. And then and they were supposed to have the press conference today, Sunday at 3 p.m., and then one of them leaked it. And I think it was Jim Irsay. I think Jim Irsay was pissed. The Colts owner, Jim Irsay, I think he leaked it out. I think he was pissed. Or at least he probably talked to someone in his family. The Irsays, they're so volatile. I think someone in the Irsay family leaked this, and I think that's why we know about it right now. So I do wish that Andrew Luck would have provided the Colts with more of, a heads up as to what's going on here. I definitely understand for him, it's good to get out before the regular season even starts. I just would have done that. And it would have been more ideal even if, he would have, came to this decision earlier in the offseason. That way they could have definitely made more plans. But I think, with the recent injury he's been going through, the calf and the ankle, those actually injuries combined, I think that's when he finally realized, okay, I'm done with this. And, it's just really sad. It's really unfortunate. It's a situation where, again, this is a guy that we've seen at this point, have a great NFL career and, with so much promise, a Hall of Fame, talent. I mean, absolutely a Hall of Fame talent coming out of Stanford again. And it's really unfortunate that we're not going to see him, go through this NFL career. And I think he's going to come back. A lot of people are talking about this. I do think Andrew Luck's going to come back. I think he's a guy that legitimately did love football. Jake Locker is another guy that retired at the age of 26. He wasn't a very good NFL quarterback. He was not very interested in being a backup, being a fringe starter. Whereas Andrew Luck is a guy that loves the whiteboard, loves going to the local high school, going to the local college, and throwing around a football. That's something that he enjoys to do, and he loves talking about the game. He loves watching film. I think he just loves football too much. I think he's going to come back to this game. I think it's going to be 2 years. Some people are saying next year. No, I think it's going to be 2 years, maybe 3. But I do think, unless if he really, I'm not sure if he has kids already. I know that he's married. If he gets a couple kids in and he really starts to enjoy the family life, then maybe he'll actually be done. But I'm really anticipating we're going to see Andrew Luck once again. I'm not sure if it's going to be for the Indianapolis Colts. It's just going to depend on the situation for the quarterback situation whenever that time arises. We'll see. And also, it depends also if he still has good relations with Jim Irsay. Right now, it sounds like he does. He thanked Jim Irsay. He was very gracious to Jim Irsay during the press conference and whatever. But I think he'd be a little salty if he figures out that Jim Irsay is the one that leaked the information to the press. So that is it for Andrew Luck. Again, very sad, and he had the right to walk away. And, he's gone through a lot physically. Obviously, a lot of injuries over the past number of seasons now, and most recently the calf and the ankle. And, he's had a whole bunch of other injuries as well, missing the entire 2017 season. He played in 86 of a possible 112 games, so he missed 26 games over his, 7-year NFL career, maybe 8-year NFL career. So, you definitely understand it, but it's definitely a sad situation. So now for the Indianapolis Colts, okay, what do you do moving forward? So this is a team that I had going 12-4, okay, so forget about that. And it was all because, or at least mostly because of Andrew Luck, because we know how valuable Andrew Luck is as a football player. When he's on that football field, he just adds at least 4 wins to the Indianapolis Colts, period. They went 4-12 without Andrew Luck, with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. And Jacoby Brissett ain't bad. He ain't great, but he ain't bad. And went 4-12 with Jacoby Brissett. Year before, I want to say they went 8-8. And that was with Andrew Luck still battling with injuries. And then he comes back, and they go 10-6. Okay, so you're talking about Andrew Luck really being 4, 5, 6 wins worth in terms of adding to the Indianapolis Colts versus Jacoby Brissett. So that's what I expect. I'm expecting a 4-6 game, worse than what I projected. So I'm thinking anywhere from 6-10 or 6-10 to 8-8. That's now what I'm projecting for the Indianapolis Colts. And, again, throw out Jacoby Brissett, see what he does. I'm not on the Jacoby Brissett train. A lot of people believe he's a franchise quarterback, that he's going to prove to be a franchise quarterback. I don't believe that. He has some good traits for sure. He definitely has a good arm and can make, great throws, but I just don't see him sitting in the pocket making the consistent throws that I want to see at this point. And we saw him in a whole 15-game sample in 2017, and the Colts won 4 games with him, and the roster wasn't great. It wasn't great, and they definitely, they added to it last offseason, which is why they ended up making the playoffs. They added, their, left guard Quentin Nelson, added linebacker Darius Leonard. These were 2 all-pro talents as rookies. Okay, they also added Braden Smith at right tackle. That helped shore up the offensive line. You had the maturation of Marlon Mack, and they also added Eric Ebron. So I understand that this roster, actually, last year's roster was better than the 2017 roster, and the roster now is even better as they add in Justin Houston, more maturation from Malik Hooker. Marlon Mack looks like he's ready to be a bell cow. You draft Paris Campbell, who we're excited about. So I think they're not going to be a 4-win team like they were 2 years ago. Again, I'm projecting anywhere from 6-10 to 8-8. The problem is, however, though, the schedule is quite difficult, and it was very manageable with Andrew Luck at the helm, because Andrew Luck can get in a shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs and he can win that game. He can. I'm not saying, he's going to do that 10 times out of 10, but, you're going to be competitive against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, against a team like the LA Chargers, against a team like the New England Patriots. You're going to be competitive. Now, you're not going to be competitive against those type of teams, number one. And then number 2, a team like the Tennessee Titans, who you sweep with Andrew Luck, you're not going to sweep the Titans. You got swept by the Titans 2 years ago when Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback for your football team. So, all of a sudden I'm thinking, definitely you're not going to sweep the Titans. Now, I thought it was going to be a split anyway, but now maybe the Titans sweep you. Maybe now the Texans sweep you. I'm pretty sure that you guys beat the Texans in 2017, but, it's just going to be more difficult. I think you guys would still go at least 2-4 in your division, but then outside of that, you're facing the NFC South, where now each team to me in the NFC South is at least as good as you, and that includes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who to me are going to find a good offensive system with who's their head coach again? Bruce Arians back, in the NFL as their head coach, and Todd Bowles as their defensive coordinator. I think they're going to give you problems. Let me check where that game is, if it's in Tampa Bay or Indianapolis. It's in Tampa Bay, so they're going to give you problems. New Orleans, you can't compete with. And Carolina, Atlanta, I think they're better than you. They have better quarterbacks than you, that's for sure. So all of a sudden, with Andrew Luck, you guys can beat the Falcons, you can beat the Panthers, and you'll definitely beat the Bucs, and you'll compete against the Saints. With Jacoby Brissett, You're not as good as the Panthers and the Falcons. I'll give you a chance to win those games for sure, but you're not as good as them. I just don't think you are. And then, the Bucks, you're right there, and we're going to see. It's in Tampa Bay, so I don't love your odds there. You're facing the AFC West. You're facing the Chiefs and the Chargers. You're not as good as them. And then Broncos and Raiders, you're at their level. They're right at your level. I'm low on the Denver Broncos. I've been going 5-11. Raiders, I'm actually having a little more confidence in. Maybe I'm drinking the Hard Knocks Kool-Aid a little bit too much. And there's a lot of drama over there, don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking they might be more like a 6 or 7 win team than the 5 wins I had projected them earlier this offseason. But I mean, you're right there with them. So it's going to be competitive. And let's see, you guys host the Raiders. So, I mean, you guys should win that game. I'll give you that game. And you host the Broncos as well. So those are two, definitely winnable games. But again, you're in the AFC South. You're facing the Titans, who right now are better than you. Texans, better than you, and Jaguars, to me, at your level. Some people will say the Jags are going to win the division. My friend Louis T over at the Louis T Network, he has the Jags winning the AFC South right now. So some people are higher on the Jacksonville Jaguars than I am, and that doesn't spell very kindly for you. And then, you start to face the New England Patriots, or not New England Patriots, sorry, you guys finished second in your division, so you have to face the Pittsburgh Steelers from the AFC North, and then the Miami Dolphins AFC East. So we're not worried about the Dolphins, but the Steelers are going to give you problems. With Andrew Luck, I'd have you guys beating the Steelers. Without him, I don't. So all of a sudden, it's a seismic shift, but I do think you guys are not going to be that 4-win team you were a couple years back. For those of you who are already starting to tank for Tua Tagovailoa, let's calm those discussions. I don't think that's where you're going to end up. I think you guys will be anywhere from a 6 to 8 win team. You're still going to be competitive, and you may end up actually being a fun team to watch because, again, you're going to have Jacoby Brissett, who can make some nice throws, throwing to T.Y. Hilton, throwing to Paris Campbell, handing the ball off to Marlon Mack, Eric Ebron, Jack Doyle. The offensive line is still there. So I think, again, it's still going to be a competitive team. And, a lot of the guys defensively, like Justin Houston, he's not going to give up, dude. He's going to show up. He's going to try to ball out. And, we're going to see what's going to happen. And I tweeted this on my Twitter at the MJ Take. How funny will it be in 2 years if the Colts end up taking Trevor Lawrence, and then they have the next generational talent? I mean, with their luck in the past 20 years, it might be the case. And no pun intended there when I say that. But the luck has finally turned as Andrew Luck retired so prematurely. And again, it's a sad situation for the Colts. It sucks. But to go ahead and start Jacoby Brissett, and if Brissett struggles, I'm interested in Chad Kelly. Chad Kelly, I think he's been playing well this preseason. I liked him coming out as a 7th-round pick, but I liked him coming out, and I think he's always had some starting potential. So if the Jacoby Brissett experiment doesn't go well early, I might turn to Chad Kelly. I think he's a capable backup right now. He's been playing well in the preseason, so go ahead and look out for that scenario. So that's it for the Indianapolis Colts side of things. And then now let's get to the Tennessee Titans aspect and also the AFC South in general, and then we'll get out of here. So for my fellow Tennessee Titans fans, we're having a damn party, dude. Oh my God, if you've seen my Twitter again, my Twitter at the MJ Take, man, I've been celebrating. I've been celebrating this retirement for the past 24 hours. And yeah, like I said, it's a little sad. Like, it's sad that, this guy's great NFL career, he's ending it early. It's sad. But as a Tennessee Titan fan, this is a beautiful thing for me, man. I mean, point blank, period. Andrew Luck has given the Tennessee Titans hell over the past, how many years now? 7, 8 years. 11-0 is Andrew Luck against the Tennessee Titans, and that has now come to an end. And, some people were tweeting, does it bother you that the Titans never beat Andrew Luck? Nope, I don't care. Okay, Andrew Luck is now just a small little chapter in the book of the NFL. It was a nice chapter. It was a beautiful chapter. And I think that chapter still may have some more pages left in the future. I don't care about the Andrew Luck chapter. He didn't win no Super Bowl. They didn't even go to a Super Bowl. That's fine. We never beat Andrew Luck. It sucks. I would have preferred for us to beat Andrew Luck. But if we go out and we win the Super Bowl this year, I'm not going to say, well, if Andrew Luck was there, blah, blah. I don't care. We won the Super Bowl. Yay. Because there's always going to be something you can look at and say, well, if this happened, if that happened, then I don't want to hear it. This guy is now out of our division. Thank God. And again, we saw that we were able to sweep them 2 years ago without Andrew Luck in the division. And I love the fact that now I can look at that week 2 game, and I gave it to us anyway. Week 2 hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I was going to give us that game anyway. I thought for the first time we were going to beat Andrew Luck early in the season. He was nursing his calf injury, all of that. But now I definitely have that as a W. I just want to make sure, please, we got to win week 1 too. It's going to be hard. The Browns, they're talented. They're going to come at us. They're going to be excited in Cleveland. So it's going to be tight. But it's just nice to know if we lose that, week 2, it's a must win, but it's a must win that we're probably going to win anyway. And damn, I think we can just get off to a strong start this season. You look at this Tennessee Titans schedule. We go to Cleveland. We host now the Jacoby Brissett-led Indianapolis Colts. We go to Jacksonville Thursday night. Now, Jacksonville defense is great. And now Josh Allen is looking fantastic. And, it's going to be problematic. It's going to be a battle for sure. But then, we go to Atlanta. We host Buffalo. We go to Denver. Those teams I just mentioned, Cleveland is the only playoff team I have. Atlanta, I think, will compete. And I think it's not going to be an easy matchup. Don't get me wrong. But I just look at those first, how many games? 6 games. If we're not 4-2, I'll be surprised. I think that's a 4-2 start for the Tennessee Titans. Could be 5-1. Possibility for 6-0, but most likely it'll be 4-2 or 5-1. So I love the beginning to this schedule. And then we wrap around. We face the Colts week 13. We'll see. Hopefully, it's going to be Indianapolis. And again, like I said, the Colts are going to compete. So I'm not going to give us that game. I'll still say we split with the Colts. We shouldn't. I really wish we just sweep them. And it's definitely a possibility. I'm going to say we still split with them. So this will not change my record prediction. I'm sticking with 11-5. I really wanted to go 12-4, but I'm going to stick with 11-5 for the Tennessee Titans record this year. But now with the Colts, being a worse team than I projected 12-4, when I made that season preview a while back. Congratulations, the Titans now win the AFC South. And right now, I think you can now put the Tennessee Titans in the AFC discussion. Okay, now let's go into the season. The season's about to start, but for me, I think we're going to be in the damn discussion, man. Now, I think the Patriots are damn good, okay, and they're damn scary, and I don't see a scenario where we have a better regular season record than them, so we would have to go to Foxborough if we face them in the playoffs, and although we kicked their asses here, I don't think we'd be able to do that in Foxborough. Now, can we win a competitive football game? Sure. And then hopefully by then, Tom Brady's age finally catches up to him. And, we'll see about that. But I think you're talking, to me right now, the top 3 teams at AFC, Patriots, Chiefs, Titans. That's the conversation to me. Those are the top 3. Those are the top 3. Chargers, we'll see, but I think the Derwin James injury absolutely kills them. Steelers are still going to be involved in the discussion. Browns are going to be good as well. I have the Steelers and the Browns both making the playoffs. Texans, I think... With this now, I think I still have the Texans making the playoffs. I'm going to have to sleep on that, actually. I'm not sure if I want to pick the Texans or the Chargers. So, I don't know. But I'll think about that, and I'll make a record and playoff prediction video probably this week. But I think we're one of the top teams in the AFC right now. And tonight, we're going up against Pittsburgh, and I will be live after that game for my post-game recap, reaction, and analysis. Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee Titans, 3rd preseason game. And, with this and the Lamar Miller injury, and real quickly on that, I don't care about the Lamar Miller injury. I think he's replaceable. I think he's mediocre. I think Duke Johnson is just going to be just as good as him. I don't think you're going to see any drop-off, not even a little, between Lamar Miller and Duke Johnson. I don't know why people still believe Lamar Miller is actually good. Like, he had a pretty good year last year. He had like 900 yards, 4.6 yards a carry, and I want to say 6 touchdowns. But Duke Johnson actually gives you way more in the receiving game than Lamar Miller does. And Lamar Miller just always been just okay. I don't really care about Lamar Miller getting injured. I don't think that worsens the Texans by a game. I don't think they're going to lose one more game because Lamar Miller tore his ACL. So I don't really care about that. But with that and this Andrew Luck thing, I want our starters out there for a limited time. Okay, if he scored a touchdown, whatever, they're out. Especially because it looks like we're going to get thunderstorms tonight, too. So I don't want these guys, going around, falling around, tearing ACLs and all that. We got to stay healthy. And right now, that's a beautiful thing to have in this AFC South. And we have it right now. We have all of our weapons, our arsenals ready to go. It looks beautiful. So I'm excited right now. Hopefully nothing bad happens tonight. and things will go well. So again, Andrew Luck retires from the NFL. Sad news indeed. I'm going to go to the chat real quick to answer some questions, and then we will get out of here. But yeah, man, shocking news indeed. Andrew Luck out of the NFL, retiring. Sad indeed. A great talent. And I'll never forget, man, his comeback against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Jesus, dude, that was just so bone-breaking. What a great quarterback Andrew Luck really was. He really was a great quarterback. Very turnover-prone, very interception-prone, but a great quarterback indeed. Yeah, people in the chat agree with me. Evolution of NBA, he says Lamar Miller is kind of trash. Laura Dragol Smitty says Lamar was only good in Miami. And then now we have some questions rolling in. Jorge Metza. Actually, no, it's George. Sorry. George Metza says, MJ, why do you hate Watson if Watson has had a better career than Mariota? Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'll grant you this. Overall, Watson has had a better career than Mariota. However, the funny thing is, if you look at Deshaun Watson's first 2-year stats and Marcus Mariota's first 2-year stats, they're the same. They're actually literally the same. Deshaun Watson had, let me check the numbers again. But I know this past year, his sophomore year, Deshaun Watson had 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Marcus Mariota's second year in the league, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Now, Deshaun Watson went to the playoffs that year, and Mariota did not. But, you know, Deshaun Watson obviously had a better team than Marcus Mariota did. The first year, Deshaun Watson was on pace to have more touchdowns than Marcus Mariota, but he ended up with the same amount because obviously he got injured. And I want to say he played 7 games, and he had like 19 touchdowns, which was an insane mark for a rookie. And then I want to say he had, let me check right now. I want to say he had even 14 interceptions. He had a high number of interceptions his rookie year. So I want to say, 19-8. Okay, he only had 8. So 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That was Deshaun Watson his rookie year. And then Marcus Mariota was 19-10. So their first 2 years are pretty much in line. So my thing is, if Mariota gets back to just getting the stats people want him to have, that's really the problem right now, because in terms of his ability to lead the football team, to win games, people don't question that Marcus Mariota. People, at least Tennessee Titans fans don't question that. The national media, they question that for reasons I don't know, because I can't tell you games that I can point to and say Marcus Mariota lost us that game. I don't have those games. If you can show me those games, I'd love to see those games. That's my problem, when people bash Marcus Mariota. Just tell me which games you point at and you say, Marcus Mariota lost you that game. Nope. I mean, Texans lost this year Monday Night Football. Defense gave up too many points. Colts lost the week before that. Defense gave up too many points. Dolphins game, Mariota got injured, but I'm not going to say, we lost the game because of him. And then the defense and the special teams weren't, ready to go. It was like an 8-hour, hell scenario. Buffalo Bills game, Nick Williams dropped the football. There's not a game I can look at. Oh, yeah, Chargers lost. What the hell were we doing for the 2-point conversion? I don't look at games and I say we lost that game because of Marcus Mariota. That's not something that I do. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see moving forward, because I'm not convinced that Mariota and Watson, well, first of all, I mean, at this point, they're going to be around for a while. It looks like Watson is legit, and I'll admit that. And it looks like they're going to have some more AFC South battles. So I don't hate Deshaun Watson. Obviously I had a strong pre-draft stance with him, and I wanted to see it validated, as we all do whenever we make these pre-draft, analysis. And it just didn't turn to fruition. I mean, now I just hate him because he's a Houston Texan, and that's just it. And I'm allowed to have that privilege as long as I can still cover the team, as objectively as I can. Evolution of NBA, am I a Jacoby Brissett fan? No, I'm not. First of all, here's an example. Tyrod Taylor is better than him. Okay, Tyrod Taylor is better than Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is a fringe starter. That's it. And I don't think if Jacoby Brissett is starting for you, you're not in a good position, short and long term. That's my stance on him. Maybe he's improved in the past 2 years, but we literally saw him 2017. He looked like a replacement level quarterback, had 13 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 15 games, won 4 games. Replacement level, dude, like Case Keenum, Tyrod Taylor, replacement level quarterback. That's where I have him right now until he proves otherwise. What else do we got here? Perfect Shot says, how much do you predict Mariota will play today? Mike Vrabel doesn't like talking about that type of stuff, but, right now it really depends on the weather, man. I think we're supposed to get thunderstorms tonight, so I'm just watching that right now. Right now, I can't tell you right now. I'll predict 3 series. I'll say that. Maybe 4. I don't think they're going to play long, but we'll see. What else do we have here? Yeah, Kyle Harris says Lamar Miller had that 99-yard run on this last year. Yep, he definitely did. It was 97, as Kitty Bangs pointed out in the chat. Yeah, 97-yard touchdown run, and it was a great run for sure. But, I mean, think about it. Without that run, he's down to 800 rushing yards, and his yards per carry, probably dips down to like 4.3 or something, maybe even less. So, I don't know. I'm not a Lamar Miller fan. JJ says, MJ, do you think Darius Leonard can follow up his rookie year with identical numbers? Numbers-wise, sure. Absolutely, because they still need him to be the main guy on that defense that, runs around and gets tackles. And the turnovers, we'll see. That's going to be hard to maintain as well, but I think his impact on the field will be the same. I'll say that. It's hard to project, linebacker numbers. That's a hard thing to do, but I think it's going to be about the same. George Meta says Watson is a Pro Bowler, Mariota is not. I want to say Mariota made the Pro Bowl in 2016 as an alternate. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. What else do we have here? Why did my chat update all of a sudden? What else do we have here? Can we expect at least another 1,000-yard season from Henry? Absolutely. He's talking about Derrick Henry, and that was Skidley Bob who asked that. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The question for me is, will he get 1,200? We have LSM 12999 who asked Tua or Trevor Lawrence to the Colts confirmed. They're not going to be that bad. That's the problem. Maybe Tua. I'm not sure Tua's going to go as high as people think he is. I was having this conversation on my Twitter. Marcus Mariota is a better prospect than Tua Tagovailoa was, or is. Okay, Marcus Mariota was a better prospect than Tua Tagovailoa is. Imagine Marcus Mariota, Oregon's Marcus Mariota on Alabama. Dude, that's it. It's over. Like, they don't lose nothing. I think Tua, and he showed this a lot in the national championship and what Clemson was throwing at him. And also, when he started throwing interceptions late in the season, the game against Georgia, he has some flaws, man. And I do like him. I do think he's a first-round talent. I'm not convinced he's going to go number 1 overall right now. I'm not convinced he's going to go top 5 right now. I'm not convinced, okay? But the point is, for the question, the Colts are not going to be bad enough, dude. Jacoby Brissett's going to win them at least 6 games. At least 6 games. So they'd have to trade up, and they might. Because at this point, they know they have to go all in because this roster is pretty much ready. They just need a quarterback. So Tua, we'll see. It's possible because I think he's going to go lower than some people expect right now. Trevor Lawrence, no. No, they're not going to be that bad for Trevor Lawrence. Unless if things really change the next 2 years, which they could because, that's a long time in the NFL world. What else do we have here? Just a couple more, and then we will get out of here. Let's see if I can answer anything also related to the Colts and Andrew Luck. I know there's a lot of Titans fans in the chat, but I want to, we'll talk Titans tonight, so we'll have plenty of time to do that. Evolution of NBA asks, are the Colts still the best team in the division? No, they are now the worst team in the division. They will be 4th in the AFC South this upcoming year. Sean Bernard asked, do you really think the Colts would have gone to the Super Bowl? Yeah, I really believed it. I really thought they were prepared to, make that last step to beat the Chiefs and or the Patriots and or even my Titans, honestly. And now, I'm going to have to, I'll make my playoff prediction video soon, but y'all not going to like who I have one in the AFC. Except Sean Bernard might like it a lot, but most of us aren't going to like who I have winning the AFC this year, man. Oh, but this is actually a pretty good window, man, if the Titans can actually do something, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, just a couple more, and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. I'll do one more. Okay, good. This is the last one. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to answer that one. Okay, I'll answer this one. So Seb asked, will Marlon Mack be negatively affected by Andrew Luck's retirement? Yes. I think, Marlon Mack averaged over 4 yards a carry last season. I know that. And, now teams aren't really going to respect. They're going to respect Jacoby Brissett in terms of deep threat for sure, but they're going to stack the box more than they would with Andrew Luck there. So I do expect, Marlon Mack, who I thought was going to ascend to like an 1,100-yard running back this upcoming season, a real fantasy threat. I got him down now for probably another 900-yard season, maybe 1,000. But definitely, he's going to lose 100 to 200 yards of rushing yards to me and probably 3-4 touchdowns because they're going to be in the red zone as much as they would be with Andrew Luck. So there you go. Oh, by the way, quick programming note. Okay, so the 32 teams in 32 days series is unfortunately over. What happened was I got sick, which I'm actually still recovering from right now, by the way, if my voice sounds as if I'm a little sick. I was sick, and at that point, I was just so behind schedule. And also, just in looking at YouTube and its analytics and, how you guys are really responding to it, it's great in terms of, whenever you're a fan of a team, right? You wait for that team, you wait for me to make a video on that team, you watch it, it's great. But then a lot of y'all don't watch the other 31 videos, right? So, just looking in terms of my analytics and everything, it just didn't seem like I was getting a lot of bang for my buck making those. So what I'm going to do is, and I actually start work tomorrow, finally, and I'm working in Nashville, by the way, so I will be sticking around Nashville. So for those of you who were sad that I was going to be leaving Tennessee, I'm not. But now that I'm, starting work, I'm going to be more consistent, and I'm going to come out this week with win-loss predictions, playoff predictions, and I'll go team by team and I'll talk more in depth, but it's better to do that and get more bang for my buck than making the 32 teams in 32 days at this point. It was great when I started it because a lot of you guys, you just, you search your team on YouTube, I pop up, you got familiarized with my content, you enjoy my content, you subscribed. It was great. But now, YouTube and its model, that type of series isn't great for YouTube's algorithm. They don't really recommend videos like 32 teams, 32 days, unless if you're really a fan of that team. And I really need to do more videos that can get on the home page for people, stuff that's more general. So that's what I'm going to be focusing my efforts on moving forward. So there you go. That's an update. Andrew Luck again retires from the NFL. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Comment down below. I want to know. And again, I will be back later tonight to recap the Tennessee Titans-Pittsburgh Steelers' third preseason game. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.